Okay. I started this video once, but I don't think it worked, so I'm starting it again. To solve these equations, first thing I'm going to do is draw the line, which I've done already. I'm going to circle my constant, and I'm going to underline my coefficient. Okay, and then I know that I'm going to deal with my constant first, whatever's circled. My constant in this problem is -3. The opposite of -3 is +3. And whatever I do to one side to change the value, I must do on the other side of the line. -3 plus 3 is 0. That's why I did that, because that goes away. And what I have left here is -2r. Make sure you don't lose that negative. That's why I made sure to underline it. And that equals 13 plus 3, which is 16. Now I have my coefficient to deal with. This is being multiplied by r, so to undo that I need to divide. And I'm not going to lose that negative. I'm going to divide by -2 on both sides. -2 divided by -2 is 1, so that gives me 1 times r, which is just r. 16 divided by -2. I have 1 negative in the problem. That means I'm going to have a negative answer, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. So -8. I'm going to quickly check my answer over here. -3 minus 2 times -8, and I'm hoping that equals 13. -2 times -8 is positive 16. I hope that equals 13. 16 minus 3 is 13, which does equal 13. So I know that that is the correct answer. Okay, number 2. Same thing, draw a line and circle your coefficient. Your constant, underline your coefficient. I have a little bit different coefficient this time because it's a 2, but I'm dividing by 2 instead of multiplying by 2. So I'm going to have to do the opposite to undo it. But first we need to deal with this constant. -6, the opposite of that is +6. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other when I'm changing a value. That leaves me with x over 2 on the left. -1 plus 6 is 5. So I have x over 2 equals 5. Now, my coefficient is the over 2. And to undo that, because that means divided by 2, I'm going to multiply by 2 on both sides. That makes that 2 go away and leaves me with x. That's why I do that. And 5 times 2 is 10. Again, I'm going to check my answer. I'm going to come over here. 10 over 2 minus 6 equals -1, I hope. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Minus 6 equals -1. 5 minus 6 is indeed -1. So, x over 10 is the correct, x equals 10 is the correct answer. All right. Sorry, that's going to mess that up. Never mind. I was going to move that, and now I'm not. Okay. 5b plus 6 equals -24. Again, my constant is just a number. Circle that. Underline my coefficient. I have to deal with the constant first. What's the opposite of +6? That would be -6. Leaves me 5b equals. Now, some of you should probably be using a calculator at this point. -24 minus 6 is -30. And now I have my coefficient to deal with, 5. So I need to divide, because that means 5 times b. So if I divide by 5 on both sides, then I just have b left. And -30 divided by -5 is -6. So b equals -6. I'm going to check it really quick. 5 times -6 plus 6 equals, I'm hoping, -24. That gives me -30 plus 6. Again, I'm hoping -24. -30 plus 6. Put it in the calculator. It is indeed -24. So, B does equal -6. Finally, 9B minus 2 equals -38. I'm going to circle my constant, underline my coefficient, deal with the constant first. The opposite of subtracting 2 is adding 2. I have to do that on both sides of the equal sign so they stay equal. That leaves me 9B equals -38 plus 2 is -36, not -40, so be careful with that. And then I need to deal with this coefficient, and it was multiplying, so now I'm going to divide. 9 divided by 9 is 1, and all I have left is 1 times b, which is b. -36 divided by 9, if I put that in a calculator, I get -4. I'm going to do a quick check over here. I'm sorry, I got 9 minus 2, and I'm hoping that equals 36 minus 2. 36 minus 2 more is indeed, oops, this should say 38, is -38. So that checks, and that is the right answer. Thank you for listening.